I'd probably take this one if I had it to
It's
show.
making your Johnson sandwich.
Yeah. I feel like you should be in the middle. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
How are you?
Very good, thank you.
Yeah.
How was your trip here?
It was great. We just spent about 5 days in Paris.
So fun.
Yeah, come over here.
I feel like otherwise it's like I smell and you've all...
Yeah, legally I'm not allowed to be on the sofa this year. I'm gonna have the arm.
He's like a dog.
Oh
Yeah.
no. How are you guys? Nice to see you. I see some familiar faces out there. So I do like staged shows, and anyway, through the years with my filmmaking career, I've raised money online to make the films with Indiegogo campaigns, and through that process, I've like met a lot of fans or supporters that have become really good friends. Yeah, there's one, Sam.
Thanks, Sam.
There's another one, Chechko. And I'm not sure who else is here, but it's so fun to go to the cons and like actually see my friends.
That's really good. Well, what I'm getting there is if people want to be your friends, they need to help support your next film.
Well,
Get on Indiegogo.
yeah, well, I don't know if I'm gonna do another Indiegogo again. You can only, you know what? With Indiegogo, like you can only ask your friends and family so much for money, and then when your fans become your friends, you kind of can't ask anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, oh no, I've been asking my family for money for years. They are sick of it. Hey, I'm doing this weird thing next year. No, just no. But that's incredible. I really was excited because about your filmmaking. It's something I didn't realise you've been doing, but you do loads. Yeah, you are generally one of the most talented people I've ever seen. You do filmmaking, acting, music, just do a bit of everything.
I sort of transitioned from acting to writing and directing and filmmaking, I think about 8 years ago. And now that's all I want to do is just write and direct. I have no desire to be in front of the camera anymore at all. Yeah.
That's kind of what happens though. There's definitely a lot of actors, they find that their creative appetite is more fulfilled doing that sort of really
So
interesting thing.
yeah, it's like, I don't know, the first time I stepped on set as a director, I was like, oh, okay, this every ounce of my personality I get to actually use, because as my friend Kippy, who just went to Paris with me, realizes, or she probably already knew, that I can be quite bossy.
You're going to do all right, you're acting.
I'm a director. That's what I tell people what to do.
And I can, as a director. It's great.
Do you find that, like, the thing is when a lot of people who've acted go into that side of it, especially directing, it makes the process so much easier for people you have in as actors because you know what you wanted to hear and what you require to get the best out of you. So I think having it like already done in front of the screen, you get so much more out of people behind the screen.
I think so. Although I sometimes I find that's like one of the trickiest aspects of being a director is figuring out how an actor operates and works, because I think every actor operates and works very differently.
Yeah.
Like for myself, when I was an actor, I was not a heady actor. I was more instinctual. But then I've come across, like when I did Tammy's Always Dying, which I don't know if it came to Brussels. No, it hasn't. So it might at some point, but it was a film I did with Felicity Huffman a couple years ago, and she is a much more, I don't want to say she's a heady actress, but she likes to talk things out a bit more than I was used to as an actor. So it's like, it's really fun as a director. That's my biggest challenge, is figuring out how to give each actor what they need.
Yeah.
And that's like the thing I'm growing and learning the most with, I think.
That's incredible, because again, I think you could do something for 300 years and you're always still learning, but something like directing, like, there's so much involved in the process. Like, and everyone's different. Like, some people prefer getting involved with the DOP and finding out how they make it look pretty and stuff, and the people are really in on the acting, but that balance is so hard.
Yeah, so I had the opportunity of directing an episode of Superman and Lois.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, last year I did season 2, episode 6.
Look at this. Hello, IMDb has become alive.
Is it here in Brussels yet? No, but in Bulgaria, strange how it comes to different countries. Anyway, season 2, episode 6. But what I was gonna say is that that was so thrilling and terrifying and amazing because I learned so much. Like one episode of Superman and Lois is 3 budgets of my first, my second indie film. Yeah. And so I got to learn how to work with a VFX and a storyboard artist. I got to use a 100-foot crane. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's all of these toys and this incredibly well-oiled machine of this crew that has been doing this for 2 seasons, and I just get to hop on board and help them make a TV show as the director. It was incredible.
So, had you done any directing or writing before you started acting?
No, because I started acting when I was 19. So I had written some music, and then I wrote my first screenplay probably when I was about 30. But really at the time, I didn't even think.
They love the fact that you wrote that when you were 30. They're like, yes, hey, what's the best age to write?
When I was around 30, when I wrote my first.
You told you. The next one.
What was I gonna say? Oh, I felt like when I knew I wanted to write and direct around 30, but I actually in my head I thought that I wasn't allowed to, which is so stupid. But I wrote a screenplay called Crazier Than You, and I sent it to John Hamm, who I had done a series with called The Division. And because I knew he was directing, and I was like, do you want to direct this? And he read it, and he wrote back to me, and he said, why don't you direct it? And I was like, oh, yeah, why don't I direct it? And it was almost like I needed somebody else to give me permission. But then from that day forward, I was like, this is what I want to do. So then I started doing my first short film, and I did 4 shorts, 2 features, and now I'm like getting my next feature off the ground. I love it.
You should really work for it. That sounds like not a lot of work at all. That sounds so much. Like, because everything takes so long to get any, especially like writing alone. Like, I don't know what your process is, but like, you don't know when.
Are you a writer?
Yeah, we can write stuff, but yeah, you know.
Yeah, it's a painful process,
yeah, really
huh?
Very
Yeah.
lonely.
Yeah, and gowns.
Lonely, you go a little bit mad. Like, so the thing I just wrote that I'm getting off the ground is a thriller about a woman who's sort of, having writer's block.
I feel like I can relate to this somewhat.
Yeah, it's great. But then through COVID, it kind of came in handy too, because we could keep working, right? We could just keep writing.
Yeah. Zoom was very helpful.
How do you, are you the sort of person who you'll get an idea and then it sort of lodges and you follow that idea, or when do you decide you're going to take on that project to start that?
Yeah, so I had an idea for an epic love story that's called Ends of the Earth, that in the middle of the pandemic, I went to Newfoundland to write this story. But when I went there, I had to isolate on top of this little mountain. I booked an Airbnb to write this love story. But I had to isolate for 14 days up there, and my Airbnb lady would bring me food and groceries, and I was going a bit mad by myself. And I was like, oh, this is a good premise for a thriller. So I got the idea for that from the love story.
I'm waiting for it. Is the character in the new film trying to write a love story?
Kind of, yes.
Ooh, that's it.
Oh, I should be having her writing that.
Yeah.
Oh, good note.
I want to watch this.
We're about to start the workshop, so we're already writing soon.
My daughter and her friend and my high school friend, that's all we did for the last week in Paris was like talk about and workshop my thriller that I'm figuring out the ending of.
But again, when you're that sort of person, because like a lot of people, they have work and then they finish it and they shut off. But when you're a writer or you're a director or you're in a great thing, sometimes it just never stops, does it?
Yeah.
No, because until it's done, and then you get that little high for a little bit while people are reading it, while you're waiting.
Yeah.
And then you reread
You start
it.
thinking about the next thing.
Yeah, or I reread it pretending I'm them reading it.
You did that? Oh yeah. I do that with my own tweets. How do I look to other people on the internet?
I don't really tweet often because of that.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Again, I mean, if you start tweeting, imagine you have such a fandom that comes like anything you do now. Do you still get all the Power Rangers people come and follow everything you do?
I find, yeah, I like, you know what, when I did that show in, what was it, 1992, I had no idea all those children watching the show would grow up to be my biggest supporters and fans, and it's been very cool as my career has shifted and changed, and to have these people that are like, I know that I have at least a small built-in fan base for whatever I do next because of that, because of the Power Rangers.
That's really nice though. It's like they came to Power Rangers but they stayed for Amy.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're invested.
Yeah.
I think Power Rangers specifically, from what we've seen over the years, you guys have a really nice fan base, and it's exactly that. Because you were there with them in their childhood as they've grown and they've seen other stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's really nice because not every fandom, we know not every fandom gets that. Those people have been involved with horrible experiences with fandom, but yeah. Again, I won't go into what it might be like for you, but from what I've seen,
well, I think that each, what am I trying to say? Like Power Rangers, anyway, I was gonna say it breeds a certain fan base, whereas Walking Dead breeds a different fan base, or Felicity, is a different fan base. But it's Power Ranger fans are very nice people. Just really nice. Very convenient for me.
We should have some Power Rangers based ones. Well, you had a very interesting. You were wondering. Matt was wondering earlier whether you had any martial arts training before you started doing the show.
Oh, so I was a gymnast. Yeah, so I got the part really, I think, based off of my gymnastic skills, and then I faked martial arts. We trained a lot while we were shooting the show. I remember lots of training, and we did all our own stunts in the beginning, the original Rangers.
I am fascinated by this because obviously it's not that long ago, but whenever I read stuff about Power Rangers and you guys, the first team, it sounds like they never allow it today. Like you guys sound you worked to the end of your
Yeah, and it was non-union, so they worked us like I think 6 day weeks, and then some of the stunts, I'm sure some of you guys have heard the stories of like one time in Switching Places, remember that episode? Anyway, me and David switched places. We were in the machine and it caught on fire, and literally there's flames shooting out of the side of the machine, and there was that happened. And then I remember hanging over a fire pit with Austin. Was that in Turbo Rangers? That was really scary. Yeah, and I was like, they literally had a gas propane thing shooting flames at us as we're dangling about. This stuff
One
would
guy
never
smoking
happen.
next to it, just really no safety.
No, yeah, it was a little crazy, the things they were having us do.
Because when you have today's stuff, I know that on the American Office, they can't have open flames, so they have to have safety officers when they lit a candle or something. So they have that they literally hang you over flames.
Yeah, it was definitely a different time.
And you're watching a thriller yourself. I just wonder where the sense of danger comes from.
I don't know where that came from, but it was really fun.
I'm sure people actually this sort of thing all the time, but given the legacy of shows like Power Rangers and how shows are still in circulation, if someone came to you and said, would you direct or would you like that? Is that something you want to go back to, or is it one of those things just like, I'm actually quite happy?
Power Rangers?
Yeah, would you ever do that?
You know what, I would if it was, I know that Netflix right now is rebooting a whole new, not French, but I don't know, who's the guy, Jonathan Sickle or something like that? We're all waiting for his series to come out. I would do something like that, you know what I mean? If it was, I don't want to go back and do the old show. If it was a revamped sort of, I don't know, more, I honestly,
Yeah, you don't have to answer.
I don't want to go to New Zealand and do the non-media show.
Yeah.
I'm not interested.
But you would be able to get to hang some teenagers over propane and really enjoy the other side of it.
Oh,
Definitely not. Definitely not.
We should.
Yeah, we're gonna let you guys ask questions. That's great. And Thomas has a microphone, so we will do.
Come down.
Yeah, otherwise I will
Come
just.
on, come on, look at that.
Amy, hello again.
Hi, Judge Go.
Hello. I would like to ask you, can you remember 1993 when you saw that there was a show coming up and they were looking for actors for it? Do you remember this day and can you tell your memories from there? And the second question is, we all know the budget, but this stunt scenes, do you do all of this by yourself?
Okay, so I remember I moved to Los Angeles. I was there for 6 months. Nothing had happened. I had taken one commercial workshop class from a woman named Katie Wallens, but I decided I didn't like Los Angeles anymore, and I moved home. But the night before I moved home, this is a very convoluted story. I met a little old man. Actually, he wasn't that old, and he would kill me if I said that. He passed away last year. So anyway, Walter, in the Hollywood Diner, and he told me, "You're gonna be a star," and I was like, "I am, but I'm going home." Anyway, so I went home, and I came back 2 weeks later because Walter called my parents and said she needs to come back. And the week I got back, Katie Wallens was a casting director as well, and she was auditioning for Power Rangers, and she called me in, and I got my job 2 weeks after that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I was in LA for about 6-7 months when I landed Power Rangers.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Did that 6-7 months feel forever though? when you first
they
started?
did. I moved out with a guy. We went to school in New York. He's like, "I'm moving to Los Angeles." I said, "Oh, okay, I don't really know where that is, but I'll go." And then I got there and I found out Hollywood's there. I was so naive. I was very naive. It was very convenient too. I was like, "I want to be an actress and I'm in Hollywood." Sounds like I was really dumb, but I was super naive.
Oh, only a few years ago, I found out that the Netherlands and Holland are the same place.
Things like that.
Yeah.
Like a cucumber is a pickle.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
A cucumber is a pickle. Oh, you didn't know?
I'm gonna need a minute, guys.
Broken them.
I've been eating little cucumbers.
Okay, and then the second question was,
He's done.
oh yeah, so the original Rangers. So the first 2 years we did the stunts. Well, at least the first year we did the stunts with the costumes on too. Although they used some of the footage, the older footage, but the footage that was us, we did it. And then at a certain point we stopped doing the stunts with the helmets on, but all the stunts with the, like in civilian clothes, that was us. And yeah, because we were, I was a gymnast, David was a gymnast, Walter was a dancer, and so we all had our skills that we could like. Austin was a martial artist, JDF was a martial artist. So we did all of those stunts. It was fun. And then I don't think that they do that anymore, I'm not sure.
Can you still do some of the, the round-offs and the...
I did a backflip on my daughter's trampoline this summer, and I completely
How does a trampoline? I think it's like on her
right here.
bike or something.
Yeah, no.
Wake up.
So I can do it, but I hurt myself when I do it. I hurt myself.
Yeah, I think
It didn't feel good.
Where's the next question? I see the microphone come up here.
First off, I want to say I'm very honored and glad to see you at all this time because I'm a huge fan of you. Since we can see Power Rangers, I was fell in love with you. So my question is this: when the Power Rangers came on the air, did you receive a lot of love letters or love emails or proposals?
Yes. Back in the day, besides all the children who are now adults, like a lot of you guys, I found like, as we were talking earlier about certain shows breed certain fan bases, I found that a lot of men in prison really loved Power Rangers. And at 21, on a kid show, it was a little creepy. They seem to have disappeared. I don't know where they went, but...
I'm out in 30 years, which it means.
30 years, I don't know.
There's a film in that alone, a prison that just shows Power Rangers.
Totally.
The fact that they're allowing them to write to the 21-year-old style of children's shows.
Yeah, but that's one cool thing. But I had, we would get a lot of letters in mail. And I remember I had these big trash bags full of fan letters that I had in my basement, not my basement, in a closet for a couple of years. And then I started going through them one time, and I don't remember, I remember finding this letter from this, anyway, this is a long, boring story.
I'm hooked.
Everyone's like, this is fascinating.
I found this letter from this girl named Rainy, and anyway, I don't remember how the story went, but we ended up becoming friends. Oh, because then I saw her at a show, and then I was like, oh my god, I just read your letter, like yesterday. Anyway, that's the end of the story.
You still know?
That's nice, that's
Yeah,
nice.
she ended up marrying a friend of mine's brother, and then they got divorced. But that's okay. She almost became family. And then,
We got the... We'll get, I've clocked you guys, we'll try and get around them. Yeah.
Hi. Remco from the Netherlands, or Holland. I just we just heard about your on-camera rolling parts are gone. As you see.
I think so. I mean, you can never say never. If something just like was handed to me that was so like I was in love with it, of course I would do it. I'm just not interested in auditioning anymore.
And music-wise, because you also are a musician, and I love your albums.
Oh, thank you.
How's that going on right now?
Yeah, so I've written about 5 songs in the last couple of years on piano, which I had never really written before. So I plan on recording those at some point. I want to make another album for sure.
And not just for movies or series, but an album.
Yeah, I don't feel like my music is very soundtrack music. So I'll make an album.
Have you ever done music for any of your films?
Yeah, Felicity had a song in it. Pretty much every show I've done has used a song of mine. Yeah, so fun.
Amazing. I love when that happens.
Yeah, first of all, thank you for being part of my childhood. It's kind of crazy that I was watching other movies like 1994 and 20 last year and this year. Just a simple question from your perspective. In a simple comparison between acting and directing, what made you happy about acting? What makes you happy about directing?
Okay. As an actor, I have to be honest, I was a very insecure actor, and I don't think I was the happiest. I ended up leaving Los Angeles maybe 15, 16 years ago because I wasn't happy with an actor. And then I got another series in Canada called Flashpoint, and through that I did find my confidence. I ended up having my daughter during that time, and I did reconnect with acting in a different way, and I did enjoy the process, and I liked it. But as soon as I directed for the first time, I was like, oh, this is what, and it's great because all those years of acting was sort of like a training ground for directing, because I was on set, so I know how the set operates, and I know everybody's parts, and where, I learned a lot. It was almost like college for me as a director. But as a director, I'm much more comfortable in my skin and a happier person.
That is Amazing. I have just been given the signal we have to wrap up because we need to get you back into the Comic-Con. Do we have any last questions, Thomas, wherever you are? Okay, as you have been our human IMDb, we'll give you the last question and then we're out.
Okay, so Amy, can you tell me, we know that now Walter and Yossi, when shooting for the anniversary, 25th anniversary, did you also get an invitation to take part in this? And for final, can you say some of your best memories with Yossi or Walter with Chris also?
Okay. So I think they just posted on Twitter and Instagram that Walter, David, Johnny Young Bosch, Karen Ashley, Steve Cardenas, and Catherine are all doing the 30th anniversary, which is so fun. So I think they're all I think Walter's back now, but they were in New Zealand shooting that, which is super cool. I have my own surprise for the 30th. That's all I can say.
That is the perfect, like, if that was the end of an episode, credits. That's the perfect time.
And I'll see you guys at my table and at the photo shoot. And I'm here all day
Yeah, we're
and
gonna
all day tomorrow.
Can we get a very quick
Oh yeah, we're trying to get one with everyone in the pictures, if that's okay. So everyone